Hey everyone, it's Zach, and before we start our episode of Hope for Master Ball, I want to say thank you. We recently reached 170 subscribers, so for those of you who subscribe, watch my content, conversate with me in the comments down below, I just want to say thank you for your support, and hopefully that support continues. A lot of our followers came from this weekend where we received codes for a Gastrodon from the Japanese online tournament, and then a Porygon 2 for the Players' Cup. By the time of posting, unfortunately the Gastrodon code has probably expired, but the Porygon 1 is still live, so if you want to check that out and get yourselves a free Battle Ready Porygon 2, I'll have a link to that video in the description. I also want to let you know that coming later today, you will see a video where I take a look at who can replace Whimsicott after Series 6 comes and Whimsicott is banned from ranked battles. So looking at Whimsicott as more of its role in a team rather than the Pokemon itself, and tries to see what Pokemon could fit that role based on how you're using the Whimsicott. But either way, let's get into the battles. We have been using the voted Raichu Pincurchin team, which can do really good, do really bad. As you can see, it has Alolan Raichu, Pincurchin, Indeedee Female, Cinderace, Togekiss, and Ferrothorn. Now, as you know, once Series 6 does roll around, Indeedee, Cinderace, and Togekiss will all be banned, so I'm trying to get some matches in on this team before that takes place. So anyways, we're going to jump right into it. And one thing I really have to worry about with this team is Sucker Punch Pokemon. So Sucker Punch basically knocks out Alolan Raichu and will have priority. If I think that they're going to lead Sucker Punch, usually my best call is to lead Indeedee instead to prevent the Sucker Punch, but then we lose the high-hitting electric terrain. So that's always a stinker. I can always switch in Pincurchin. But one thing I realized, I did a couple warm-up matches beforehand. One thing I discovered against a Bisharp is I tried to Sucker Punch it with Pincurchin, but if it Sucker Punches first, my Sucker Punch will fail. So really random thing that I never noticed. So if you're going Sucker Punch for Sucker Punch against your opponent, if you're faster, their Sucker Punch isn't even going to work. Something I learned today. But anyways, we're going to wait until we get our next opponent. First opponent. An opposing trainer couldn't be found. Please try again later. Am I that low? Let's try this again. Okay, and we have our next trainer. It's going to be Vinay. And here we see some Trick Room shenanigans with Dusclops, Lapras, Amoonguss, Talonflame, Alolan Marowak, and Dracovish. So I think I can lead Indeedee Raichu, and if there is a Dracovish situation, I can always follow me that away. And then switch in Pincurchin, because if Trick Room does go up, Pincurchin will actually outspeed most of what we see on this team. And I think if we can stall out the Trick Room, we can actually send in Cinderace and beat it. I want to bring Ferrothorn, but with things like the Amoonguss, which doesn't really affect us if we brought Ferrothorn, but the Talonflame and Alolan Marowak seems really troubling for a Ferrothorn matchup. So whether they go speed or if they go slow, Ferrothorn's gonna run into some trouble. So we're actually gonna see the Marowak and the Dusclops. So our lead was actually really good here because Alolan Marowak has Lightning Rod, so they are trying to prevent the electric terrain. So here, honestly, do you have terrain? No, this is a series 6 team and mind. Marowak is gone. And Dusclops is almost gone. So with Alolan Marowak out of the way, I wish I would have known they were leading that, because then I could have definitely brought Ferrothorn, which just kind of wins this matchup. And now my job is to stall out. I definitely think if they have it, we are going to see a Pain Split. But they're probably just gonna set up the Veil, and if they have Pain Split, they're gonna set it. I probably should have followed me. But I feel like in this situation, I'd rather have them take out the Raichu. And there's the Pain Split. G-Max Renaissance. And that's probably going to take out the Raichu. And we actually live, so we do get both attacks off. And as we saw with the damage last time, we should get rid of Dusclops here. No, the Veil's up. I think there's really not much to do other than to click Expanding Force again. And you're just going to continue to Pain Split. And we're going to go ahead and see Max Geyser into the Raichu. So here, Pincurchin comes in. The question is, I want a Helping Hand. But I also want to follow me. How many more turns of Trick Room do they have? 2 more turns of Trick Room. If they try to Nightshade into the Indeedee, we'll still survive that if they want to protect. And we almost had him. Does Pain Split count as an attack move? I really wanted to wait until after Trick Room was over. And you're going to go ahead and ally switch. Dusclops takes it. Oh, I should have called that. I really should have. I want to find out if Pain Split is affected by Sucker Punch. No, it's a status move, right? Oh well, I lost this one anyway. Yep. Oh, I can't believe I should have called that. I really, really should have called that, because if I would have called that, like, that would have been game right there. Because I would have still had Pincurchin. I don't know who's more annoying to deal with. Dusclops or Porygon 2? Let me know down in the comments below. Oh. Well, good game to my opponent. They definitely hid the ally switch until it was really needed, until it was critical, and that's good on them. I just made really poor plays the last two turns. I really should have called the ally switch. It's just like one of those things that you can feel, like players, some players, they use it too early just to avoid like minimal damage, but like a good player uses ally switch at like the last possible moment. Okay, so you have no speed control. Well, I mean, like, you have no terrain control. That's what I meant. Do you have to worry about the Sucker Punch? Same lead as last time. I like the trainer card. Very nice. So Venusaur and Bisharp, so you are preparing. So I think without Sun, Raichu naturally outspeeds them. Outspeeds the Venusaur. So here I'm saying you Sucker Punch and Max Quake the Pincurchin. So we're going to switch in, get Psychic Terrain, and then get an Expanding Force, which won't hit the Bisharp, but prevent it from Sucker Punching, and then we'll get the double damage. And there we go. So now we have the Torkoal. which here I honestly want to max. And follow me. Because I want to keep the Psychic Terrain, but I definitely think we're going to see another Dark move from Bisharp. And we had to max to like break our choice specs. And we are going to blow back that Torkoal. Set the rain, get rid of the sun. And there's the Throat Chop, so. Eruption, which isn't going to do much with the rain and the low HP. I'm going to go ahead and follow me again and get damage into Bisharp. And it looks like you're maxing Bisharp. You could Heat Wave with Torkoal to try to get as much damage off as possible. Torkoal's actually going to protect. We do decent damage on the Bisharp. We're going to go ahead and see Max Darkness. And we're just going to bring in Pincurchin here. And I want to go ahead and Max Lightning and Scald into the Torkoal. I want to double into the Bisharp, but I don't want to. I should have doubled into the Bisharp. Never mind. Okay. So we take out the Bisharp, which shiny Bisharp is dope. I mean, the color scheme on regular Bisharp is really good. Oh, and Pincurchin gets burned. And it is Charizard. How many more turns of Electric Terrain do I have? 4 more turns, so I definitely want to switch out the Raichu. And Rising Voltage the Charizard. And the battle's going to be canceled. Okay. So with that team in this episode, it was definitely a tale of two battles. The first one, I should have called the ally switch, and I feel like I just made poor play calls, which resulted in me and my opponent played to their strengths. They saved the ally switch to the very end. I can't just blame that on my poor play. Like, my opponent played well. But with the second match, I was able to get a decent game plan, with my lead, and then I had a strategy for if they led the Bisharp. Because I know my weakness is Sucker Punch, so anytime you think that you're going to deal with a Sucker Punch, you just need to bring in NDD and go for Expanding Force. I don't know what I would have done if they would have just baited that and brought in Torkoal and Max Quake. I think if they made that play, I would have also lost as quick as a Sucker Punch Bisharp. But I think the fact that they stuck to their guns really helped me out. So they could have switched in Torkoal, got the speed boost that I lost when I brought in Psychic Terrain, and just Max Quake the Raichu, and I think it would have been over right then and there. But that didn't happen. We played it well, and we ended up winning one match. So how did you think about the matches? How do you think about the team? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe if you want to, and tell me something you like about the team in the comments below. Anyways, I'm Zach. This is Hope for Master Ball. Keep an eye out for that Whimsicott video coming today, and I'll see you in the next one.